Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell of Ocala Unreported. Lieutenant Governor, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, well, hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, sir. You know what? And for the first probably however many seconds or minutes you want to go on, I'm going to give you this opportunity right now to talk about your alma mater's basketball team, the ORU Golden Eagles.
That's right.
Go ahead, brag.
You're giving me a free mic to talk about
Absolutely.
the Oral Roberts University,
That's right.
as I say. Yeah, so I'm very proud. Alum at ORU, and all my friends went to OSU. A couple went to OU, but I was one of the few guys out of my high school that went to ORU. Loved my time there, and these last few years have frankly been tough on us when it comes to basketball. Not this year. Sweet 16, and frankly. We were right there. Could have been an Elite Eight bid. So, listen, I think Oklahoma's one of the best states for basketball. OU, OSU, and now ORU. TU plays good ball too. So, really proud of my Golden Eagles, and I appreciate you asking me the question.
You got it, man. And you know what? That's the thing too. It's getting better. I mean, all these teams.
Yes.
Even Tulsa has had some really good years the past couple of years.
Absolutely.
And in all across the sports too. I mean, you look at football too. Tulsa was ranked last year. Oh my goodness.
It's just great for the state.
Yeah.
It's great for the state, and it's more revenue for the colleges, obviously. When these teams are doing well, it's filling up the stands, selling tickets, and that's what it's about. I mean, it helps with our branding in the state of Oklahoma for sure.
And you love the branding side of things.
I do.
You do. Okay.
I absolutely
So you
do.
were the first ever director of tourism for Oklahoma.
Yeah, the first Secretary of Tourism and Branding.
There you go.
Yes, I am.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, when I ran for lieutenant governor, one of the biggest reasons that I did run was on this platform of tourism, and branding for that matter. Oklahoma is so unique. No state can really match the heritage and the history of the state of Oklahoma. I mean, when you really think about it.
Sure.
So that is something that differentiates us from every other state. So because of that, we got to play to that strength as a state. And tourism brings in so much revenue, so much sales tax across our 77 counties. And so I really ran on that platform of, hey, we need to invite people to the state of Oklahoma. Because when we get people here, they fall in love with Oklahoma. They see how great we are. They see that this is not a dust bowl. We have 12 different ecosystems, extremely diverse in both our landscape and in our people. And we need to be talking about that. We need to be talking about that diversity. That diversity right now in America is what a lot of people are looking for. And Oklahoma, again, is arguably probably the most diverse state in America. Our Native American tribes, strong African American, Asian American communities, Hispanic communities. Let's talk about it because Oklahoma really is the heart of America, crossroads of America, whatever tagline you want to use. And I think that could really be a good draw for Oklahoma as we move into the future here.
I remember when I first got out here, probably now 2 years ago, from New Jersey to here, the thing that people would ask me the most was, what is out there? You know what I mean? Because they would think, they think it's a Western movie.
I know.
Here. And they think literally people are riding horses. Many people are, but they're not riding horses to transport.
Right.
So what do we do as a state? I mean, we won't figure it out on this episode, but I'm sure you have a lot of ideas now of yours. What do you think we need to do to make sure people know that? I mean, I know Oklahoma a little bit. You know Oklahoma for sure. To know how really good it is from a tourism perspective.
Yeah. Well, we've got to change that perception of the state. If we don't define who we are as a state, 49 other states will define it for us. And again, that has become, we're the Dust Bowl, rolling tumbleweeds and horses and buffaloes. No, we got some horses and buffaloes, okay? And that does draw some people into the state of Oklahoma from a tourism perspective. But again, we're colorful. 12 different ecosystems. One of the world-class cities, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Stillwater, Norman, Broken Arrow, from Weatherford to Broken Bow. I mean, we really have it all, but we don't talk about it enough. And so to your point of, what do we need to do as a state? We need to beat our chest a little bit more about how great of a state we are and visually show that. I think in 2021, this is an Instagram, driven type of social media world. We need to be showing people about how beautiful Oklahoma is. That's a hook. That's a hook. That shows people that, oh my gosh, imagine that. Oklahoma has tall buildings. We have, yes, the amazing prairies too, but we've got to show that diversity. And so over the last year, we just rebranded the state. We're only a year into this rebrand. So it's only in 1 year, we've already come a long way of really showing the world, new welcome signs, new welcome centers. So the front door mats to our state are completely different and so much better, vibrant, colorful. We really wanted to show that color. And so are those little things? Yeah, it's a little thing that actually turns into a really big thing.
Sure.
And over 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later, I think people around the world are going to have a completely different perception of the state of Oklahoma.
So right now, Oklahoma has done a fantastic job in rolling out the vaccines.
Yes.
A large credit to the Native American population and a large credit to the state and what they've been able to do as well. What is your pitch to people this summer? Vaccines are coming into arms. Right. Things are getting back to normal. Hopefully by this summer, things will be super normal. Yeah. What's your pitch to people to come this summer?
Yeah, Oklahoma's open. Oklahoma's open, and if you want to see America, you got to see Oklahoma. It's past, it's present, where we're going into the future. Again, when I talk about that diversity in our tourism experiences. Again, you can go whitewater rafting in downtown Oklahoma City. Yeah. You can go to the tall grass prairies in northeast Oklahoma. You can go in the sand dunes in western Oklahoma, or you can go to one of the best state parks in America, in Beavers Bend State Park, down in southeastern Oklahoma. We have it all. And if you want to see that Native American history, the pioneering history, the Chisholm Trail, Route 66, the most famous road in the world, again, that's Oklahoma. So you can wrap that up and sell that to anybody. The fact that if you want to actually see America, the great American road trip is right here in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's open. We're giving people their summers back. Yes, as you said, we're getting shots in arms. One of the best states when it comes to getting people vaccinated. We want people to get vaccinated and be able to safely get back out there and create commerce in the state of Oklahoma. So we're excited about the summer. The Roaring 20s, I think, is what you might see a little bit across America when it comes to this. Summer. The pent-up demand to get out. We're already seeing it. We saw it over spring break. You're really going to see it this summer. I think we'll have millions and millions of more people visit the state this year versus last year.
I love it. I love to see it. And you know what? Honestly, Lieutenant Governor, this doesn't even sound like political speak. This sounds like something you truly love. Yeah. This is something you truly love, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And again, it's why I ran for office. I didn't really run for partisan reasons. Yeah. I ran because I'm raising 4 kids in the state of Oklahoma myself, and I want them to be raised in a state that they know that we're investing in them.
Sure.
We're building better parks and trail systems and museums and better cities when it comes to allowing entrepreneurs to thrive here. That's the other really big part of my job is making sure small business owners and entrepreneurs don't have to go into an accelerator or an incubator in another state. Yeah. But you can do that right here in Stillwater. You can do that right here in any town across our state. Those are things that get me fired up every day. Those should not be partisan issues. Democrats, independents, Republicans alike, they should all want more private sector jobs in the state of Oklahoma. The way to get there, the front door to all of that economic development is our tourism industry. Sure. And making sure that we have very good environments for entrepreneurs in the state.
A lot of land out here. We got to get more people in the state. That would be a great thing. And I agree with you. I don't even think that is a partisan issue. I think both sides, actually 3 sides, if you want to throw independents in there too, should want more people in the state. Right. I think that's something we can all agree on.
That's right.
And I guess, when you think about, your daily schedule, what is that like? As Lieutenant Governor, I don't think many people know what the Lieutenant Governor really does.
Yeah. So Secretary of Tourism and Branding. So a lot of my job is overseeing the tourism department. Sure. That's thousands of employees across the state of Oklahoma. All of our park systems, our tourism operations. Again, we just finished the rebrand of the state about a year ago. Right. So I kind of carry out the branding inside of state agencies. And then as Lieutenant Governor, I am president of the state Senate. So from a policy perspective, very involved at the state capitol right now, making sure We're advancing legislation that we need to advance to help create more jobs in the state of Oklahoma. So, my job on a day-to-day basis, it could be something completely different on Monday versus Tuesday. And I love that. I'm not down sitting behind a desk a lot at the state capitol. I'm out. I'm across 77 counties, working with small business owners and working with our tourism industry. Those are really my swim lanes as Lieutenant Governor. In a lot of ways, the sales and marketing director for the state of Oklahoma. We kind of are the marketing department. My office is, and I take that very seriously.
And going back to your alma mater, when you were a college student, right? What did you study first and foremost?
Yeah, so I was a public relations advertising major.
Nice.
Yeah, so minor in government, and so I kind of been able to combine those two things in office.
Very nice. Yeah. So and when you were a college student, right? You're 19 years old. You're doing whatever. Did you think that you would ever be lieutenant governor? No. I hate the cliche question.
I know, but it's a great question. I didn't. I started really getting much more interested in politics in college because I started interning on some political campaigns. But it was always behind the curtain. I was always the guy helping run campaigns. Right. I did not think that I would be lieutenant governor at the age of 40. Pretty young lieutenant governor. I know 40 is not young on this college campus, but it's still fairly young. And I'm blessed to be in this position. I kind of jumped into the deep end because this is my first elected position. But I had been very involved at a grassroots level in politics and ran a lot of campaigns. But to be in the position that I'm in, to actually love what I'm doing and have some authority over some things that I'm actually passionate about, is a dream come true.
Your first elected position is the, I guess, second in command in the state.
Yes.
What's your next move?
Yeah.
You're what? How old are you now?
So 41.
41?
Yeah. So 41. I don't know what my next move is going to be outside of running for re-election for lieutenant governor. That's the first step. You can, in Oklahoma, you are term limited to 2 4-year terms.
Right.
So I'm about 2.5 3 years into this term. We would like to keep going and run for re-election as lieutenant governor. There's still a lot of things that we want to do in office, and running for re-election, you want to have some fight in you and some fire in the belly, and I certainly still do. So I'm keeping focused on just being lieutenant governor. If that leads to other things, we shall see. A lot of lieutenant governors do go on to then run for governor, but right now I'm just running for lieutenant governor.
There you go. Yeah, and What? Because kind of break this down for me, because I know it's a little bit interesting here. Like you don't run on the same ticket as Governor Stitt, so you have to run for re-election in I guess 2022.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so we don't run as a ticket here. Work with the governor. I'm on his cabinet. That is not a guarantee thing.
Sure.
He wanted me on his cabinet, so we work together.
Yeah. But
you don't run as a ticket, so you kind of have to go off and be able to run your own campaign, raise your own money, and kind of tell your own story. And I think that has been, again, something that we're really proud of is we've finally defined what the role of the lieutenant governor is. Again, they run the tourism industry. They're the sales and marketing director for the sales, kind of the salesman for the state. And we look forward to kind of crisscrossing the state the next couple of years telling that story.
Yeah, and I know you. I mean, you talk about crisscrossing the state. I mean, you are all over the state. You're telling me you're all over.
Yeah.
In all 77 counties.
Yeah.
What does your family think of this?
We're able to. I've got to be, careful.
Sure.
That I'm not out at all hours of the night.
Very true.
But we try to take the family with us when we're doing some of these trips around the state. We took an RV around the state of Oklahoma as a family a couple years ago. So we like to do those things as a family. We're an outdoors family. We love the outdoors. And so it's special to be able to take them with me. And then when I'm at the Capitol, I get home as quickly as I can.
Is there a tourism spot that you brag about the most?
Yes. At picking winners and losers, as a politician is probably not the smartest thing in the world. But I love, there's something that I love in every corner of the state. But I'll tell you, I just went to a spot that really impressed me. I talk about southeastern Oklahoma all the time, Beaver's Bend, but I'll give you another one. Medicine Park is at the foothills of the Wichita Mountains. It's right outside of Lawton, Oklahoma.
Nice.
And again, this is perfect for college students. If you want a Colorado mountain town vibe, we actually have it in Oklahoma. It's called Medicine Park. It's this cool little town, and it is a true mountain town because the Wichita Mountains are right there.
Sure.
Beautiful mountain views. some amazing restaurants, really cool little cabins out there, right on this little river. It is really cool. Medicine Park. Again, go visit Medicine Park. I was just out there, and we cut ribbons on like 6 new businesses. But college kids would love Medicine Park too. Great mountain bike trails out there. Obviously, great hiking trails around the Wichita Mountains. Just go to, again, Instagram and look at some of these pictures that people are taking in the Wichita Mountains. They're amazing. And again, people look at those pictures and say, hold on, is that in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So Medicine Park is one of my new favorite areas.
There you go. Yeah, Medicine Park. You guys got to get to it.
Yeah.
When you tell people, let's localize it for a second. Yeah. When you tell people or, are promoting stuff in Stillwater,
yes,
okay, or Payne County.
Yeah.
What do you like to tell people to come see?
One of my favorite things here is an event that you guys have, the Mid-South 100.
Nice, yeah.
Used to be the Land Run 100. So I've been in that race, in that road race, the gravel grinder. I've done the 50 mile, did not do the 100 mile, did the 50 mile.
Yeah.
But Stillwater is building just an amazing college town. I love the shops here.
Yeah.
I love the mountain biking. Community District District Bikes is awesome. I always stop at District Bikes. Because it's a college town, people think Eskimo Joe's, but there's so much more than just Eskimo Joe's. Again, the shopping is some of the best in the state now. And again, I love the biking community that you have in Stillwater now as well. What you also have in this part of the state is kind of that Chisholm Trail. Is very popular kind of in this area. Stillwater's kind of tapping into that, and so that's something we're promoting more in kind of the central part of the state in the state. But listen, this is a college town, so we talk about that. We talk about Oklahoma State University, and there's tourism attractions across the university as well. People go to college towns. Tourists go to these big college towns because they want to see college campuses too, and you have a beautiful campus here. But the sales tax base is critical. It's critical here. It's critical in Norman, and those type of opportunities. Make sure college kids are going to demand good trail systems, good museums and the arts, which you now have here in Stillwater, and they're going to demand good shopping. And I want college kids demanding those things of their city because that makes the whole state better.
That is so true. These kids need stuff to be entertained.
Yes.
We'll keep it local a little bit too, and we'll talk about something we talked about off air a little bit. Your friendship with OSU's new president.
Yes.
Okay? What are your thoughts on what Dr. Casey Strum can do here?
Well, Casey Strum, she's a rock star, first off. I worked with her for 2 years, almost on a daily basis. She was the Secretary of Science and Innovation. I was the Secretary of Tourism. We spent a lot of time together. She's in this part of the state as well, in the Tulsa area. I'm a Tulsa boy. And so we spent a ton of time together. I met her husband as well. She's so down to earth. And again, a dynamic leader. I could go on and on about her, and I'm not just, I don't have to brag on her. The proof's in the pudding, and just go meet her. I don't have to sell her. I think college kids are just really going to fall in love with her, and really be so proud that to have a president like Casey Strum. She's a people person, obviously very bright, being a doctor, but she's the right president at the right time for Oklahoma State. And I think she's going to do a wonderful job for the university.
She loves OSU, doesn't she?
She loves OSU. And again, I think we talk about branding, right? I think, to have Dr. Strum as the president, that it will help create a global brand for this university, not just around the country, but I think she's going to make a lot of people around the world kind of take notice of Oklahoma State.
Maybe help your department too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, rising tide lifts all boats. We can't be successful, and I really want to make this point. Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma, will not be successful long term without good public higher education facilities. Oklahoma State, all of our regional universities, all of these innovation that is happening on this science and innovation that is happening on Oklahoma State's campus. That helps pull in businesses. Yeah. I mean, businesses relocate to states based upon, a lot of times, those higher education facilities and really those anchor universities in a lot of ways, Oklahoma State obviously being one of those. So I'm glad to see that kind of investment on a research level, Noble and all the rest. It's very important and critical for the future growth of the state of Oklahoma.
When you see some of the responses that you've gotten in your time, with dealing with tourism, have you had people tell you, like I came to this state to go on vacation because of either the videos you're doing or just the promotion you're doing?
Yeah. Oh, I do.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really, really great. Not only that, I've had high school teachers take the Road Trip Oklahoma video series that we have, and please go watch those on YouTube for everybody watching or listening to this. I have high school teachers that are taking those videos, and they're just 5-minute clips about a road trip that you can take around the state of Oklahoma. And he's been playing those in his Oklahoma history class in high school. I love hearing those kind of stories because I want high school kids to know that Oklahoma's cool. I think we skip over that step too often. They're looking at Dallas or Houston or Kansas City. I said, listen, Oklahoma's just as cool. I can prove it to you. I can absolutely prove it to you. So that really warms my heart in a lot of ways, and what keeps me going and keeps me promoting things, because there's a lot of Oklahomans that don't know what's 30 minutes outside their front door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is definitely the case. And sometimes people will say, like, I'll hear people on going on spring break or whatever, they want to go to Houston, wherever.
Yes.
There's stuff here.
Oh yeah, right here. Yeah,
lakes.
Stillwater's a perfect. Logistically, right in the middle. You can go north, south, east, west out of Stillwater and hit something pretty amazing.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. And I guess going back to sort of your roles, right? You talked earlier about a job description and kind of fine-tuning a job description. If you were to give a brief job description for what you have to do, what would you think that would be?
Yeah, I probably would go back to, the lieutenant governor in the state of Oklahoma today is the sales and marketing director for the state. We're really the marketing department for the state of Oklahoma when it comes to tourism and when it comes to economic development. Because when we talk about tourism, there's a hand-in-glove relationship with our Department of Commerce.
Yeah.
Because when we get people here, they, as you said, they say, hey, I would love to retire here. I'd love to relocate my business here. And so tourism is the best tool in our toolbox, so to speak. But that's really the way that I would describe the lieutenant governor job. You are the sales and marketing director for the state, running the Department of Tourism and working hand in glove with the Department of Commerce.
Last couple questions for you, Lieutenant Governor Pinnell. I know that coming up, and you're a Tulsa guy, right?
Yep.
Coming up is the 100-year anniversary of Greenwood.
Yes.
And we do some projects for that here. What is your thoughts on the development of Greenwood, and what are you, just kind of talk about it? 100 years later after the tragedy.
Absolutely. The Race Massacre Museum that's going to be opened this year, it will probably be the number one, the most talked about new museum in the country. A close second is another museum in Oklahoma, the first American museum that's going to be opened in September in Oklahoma City. Think about that: 2 world-class museums telling a history that has to be told. But in regards to Greenwood, I love to see, again, the black entrepreneurship, the black businesses, black-owned businesses being opened back up in that Greenwood district. That's a story that I think gets lost. Yeah. When we talk about that race massacre that happened down there, as far as just the entrepreneurship that really has been torn down and built back up again. Yeah. There's an amazing story there with black entrepreneurship in the Greenwood district, Black Wall Street. It's still kind of the most asked question of the Tulsa Historical Society. People want to know about Black Wall Street. When they come to Tulsa, it's not the oil and gas legacy in a lot of ways. It's how do I get to Black Wall Street? Tell me where this is. So we believe this will be on the Civil Rights Trail nationally, and will be truly world-class. It's a history that must be told. We must learn from it. And I hope, again, what Senator Matthews, Kevin Matthews, who is the chair of the Race Massacre Centennial Commission, it's really our dream that we have people coming through this museum that will go home to their cities and states around the country and have a new passion and vision to start a business, to start a minority-owned business in any city that they're going back to. That's really the vision that Senator Matthews and I have of this, is to tell that story of minority entrepreneurship and hopefully learn a little bit and be so moved by the experience that they go back into their own cities and start businesses.
That's particularly incredible because, there are people that I've talked to just from Greenwood, people who are ingratiated in the in the community of Greenwood like no other.
Yes.
I mean, you talk about guys like Reuben Gant, who didn't even know about the race massacre until they were, ripe in their 20s.
Yep.
And so what is it? Are you relieved to see some more of the push to educate about this?
100%. Again, I grew up in public schools in Tulsa. I mean, I went to Lee Elementary that was literally 10 minutes from Black Wall Street. Never learned about it. Wow. And if I did, I forgot. But I'm pretty sure I didn't learn a whole lot about it. And now, thankfully, we have new curriculum that we've launched inside the state of Oklahoma and inside our state Department of Education that is teaching this now in our public schools across the state of Oklahoma, not just in Tulsa, but across the state. And I love seeing that Oklahomans are going to know about it, but the world is going to know about it. And we got to learn from it. We got to learn from it and grow.
Yeah. Yeah. And Lieutenant Governor, last question for you. Okay. This is a fun one.
Yes.
Okay. So let's sort of test to see how high up of an employee in this state you are. Okay.
Yes,
so if you were to get in contact with the President of the United States, okay, in your contacts in your cell phone, okay, how many calls would it take to get there? Okay.
Joe Biden or the last guy?
Actually, we'll do both.
Yeah. Well, the last guy, it would take me 1.5 to 2 phone calls. This guy, it would probably take President Biden probably 5 or 6.
That's so interesting.
But President Trump, it would take probably 1 phone call.
Wow.
Now, not his personal cell phone,
of course.
Yeah. But we were, I know folks around him, quite a few folks. And, we actually have a pretty good relationship with the new administration, too. We've done a number of trips to Washington, D.C. with that new administration. They're just so young.
Yeah.
It's tough for us to know who to get to in some of the agencies. But I would say 4 or 5 at least with the new administration just because they're so new. But with Trump, it was 1 or 2 calls.
Wow, look at you!
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
The young gun, the guy who his first elected office is Lieutenant Governor.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, absolutely.
Today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this episode of Collier Unreported. I'm Ryan Nowozinski. Have a great day.
OMG.